Alright amigos, today is my last day with the Quarks module here. First of all, I'm wondering, and if anyone wants to comment, how people go about trading. I mean, at first I compared my Quarks, and I believe that I'm trading it for a Zolaric repetitor, a noise engineering, I think it's called a Zolaric repetitor. Anyways, on Modular Grid, they line up pretty close, money-wise. And, but then when I compare on, like, at Moog Audio, or Moog Audio, the Quarks modules are quite a bit more expensive, so I don't know. I'm not sure really where to go. I'm gonna patch this and have it kind of going, playing with it while I'm talking about it. It is a Mutable Instruments Elements clone, and it's pretty cool. It can do some kind of fancy things. I got it pretty loud right here. I'm gonna stick in a gate, or sorry, an offset attenuator into the gate so it's going, and just play. The really neat thing about this one in particular is, as you can see up here, I really only have it some modulation going into the one parameter, but it's got LED attenuator pots, which is super cool. And after this version, or I guess most of them, they look similar to this. They don't have that. They just have regular attenuator pots. So I feel like this one's an even more special one than normal. That's the geometry. That geometry is like the best knob. Or I guess could always be CV controlled. So a bunch of cool sounds there. Now, okay, I feel it's set up and labeled almost as neat as the actual Mutable Instruments elements. There's obviously pluses and minuses, where the actual Mutable Instruments elements is a massive module. This one is much smaller. It is only 22 HP. The I don't even know how big the actual one is, but so this one at least is more condensed. However, 22 HP, looking at my kits, is the biggest. I think even the Make Noise Maths is only 20 HP. This is the biggest one here. But it can make some super cool noises. So, before someone asked me if I could rate the module. And so I kind of came up with this kind of neat way to rate. I had a bunch of different, I don't know, topics or things to rate a module on. Yeah, so the first one was usefulness. Now, Quarks is a voice, so I feel like it's useful. Even right now, I've just got a 2-note ARP going and it's kind of bouncing around the octave there. Sounds pretty cool. And I mean, if I had some modulation, maybe I'll even do that. Where's my geometry? So usefulness, I feel like If I were to rank it out of 5, I would give it a 3.5. Because when I'm thinking to patch, I always think, even though it's a similar idea to like a rings or a surface or a Platts, where it kind of needs a gate or a trigger to get this going, I always look to those before I look to Quarks. But this can definitely do things that those can't, I feel. Someone may say Platts has got a thing that can emulate this exactly. I don't know. But I cannot get the exact same sounds out of Platts that I can get out of this. Function and performance. Again, it's a voice. Every time I patch it, it sounds cool. Like even this, I believe sounds pretty cool. So, function and performance, I give it a 4.5. Pretty awesome. Simplicity, super easy to use. The only reason why I wouldn't give it a 5 is I think there are some places where, and really it's just, these are the 3 key right here, the strike, the blow, and the bow. If you have those all the way down, and the contour maybe all the way down, you're having a hard time getting a sound out of it, and so there are some like dead zones on it, but I'm sure there's that with everything. Anyways, I gave it a 4.5. Aesthetics, even though it has these cool LED attenuator pots, I don't know. I think it's maybe the white faceplate. I think I like the darker faceplates, or even like the metallic silver faceplates I like also. So I only rated it a 3, even with those cool LED attenuator pots. I don't know. Maybe I would give it higher, 3.5. If you disagree, let me know. Controls and CV, it's got knobs galore. It's got CV controls for pretty much everything. So it's that I gave it a 5 out of 5 for. It's amazing. Cost worth resale. Now, the actual mutable instruments elements, there's somebody selling it on Kijiji, which is like a Canadian Craigslist, for the actual one for like $850. This one I had up there for I think $300. Originally, I think it's worth $350. This one may be a little bit more because of the attenuator, the LED attenuator pots. I keep bringing that up for some reason, so obviously I really like those. So I'm going to say the worth of this thing is high. I'm going to say it's worth a 4 out of 5. I mean, again, I still go to a couple other pieces before this one when I'm planning my patches. But even you can hear, like, this sounds unbelievable. That sounds so cool. Size, now, for all the stuff that's jam-packed in here, I'm giving it a 3. I don't think you could plan it better. It is packed in, it is awesome. But it is my biggest module. And that the HP size is the main reason why I'm doing the trade. Again, I don't know if it's the greatest trade, but I don't know. I committed. Somebody posted that they're looking for a Mutable Instruments Elements clone. And I was like, well, it's kind of big in my case. This new Zolaric repeater is much smaller. Maybe I'll be able to compare it to my Grids clone once I get it and see. The one thing I don't like, so Grids kind of has this anonymousness. Yeah, I tried to say anonymity. Oh man, it's hard to say. Anyway, Grids has this anonymousness to the drum beats that it plays. I was looking at the Zolaric repeater manual, and what I don't love is it gives away all the drum beats in the manual. So why wouldn't I just steal those African drum beats and program them into my Keystep Pro? I don't know. Again, I've already committed, so it's happening. And the last one is the Uniqueness. Now, I gave it a 5, even though this is a clone, so it's not unique. Maybe I should give it a 4.5. But the idea of the elements, even though this being an elements clone, I don't know too much that can do what this does. Like this, especially if I just get the blow noises going. I don't know if I can. I'd have to... figure out what I'm doing here with that. Like, that is pretty cool. I don't know any other one of these that makes kind of a noise of blowing into an instrument like this one does. And it's going kind of fast. That is super cool. So, even though this is a clone of an Elements, I'm still giving it a 5. Maybe it should be a 4.5, but that's my rating system, I feel like. That's our Quarks, still. I've got the gate wide open. I've pulled out the modulation on the geometry, I believe I had it in. And I've also got hooked up. Now I'm doing a little bit of sequencing from the Keystep, as well as from my grids, which will have to fight for its spot now with the Zolaric coming. Zolaric repeater. I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know. I haven't got it in it yet. I do some of these weird trades on the fly. I've also got Surface going. Surface is what I traded Pulsar for. And yeah, I don't know. I changed the notes, so instead of C and E, I'm gonna go C and G for this, and we'll see. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it can be seen, but rings isn't plugged in. It sounds like rings, but it's the rings on the disting that's making those noises. This is the farewell tour for Quarks right here. feel like I kind of had it on the chopping block unfairly. I don't think I had rings in my case. I might have had plats, but I didn't know how to use it. I didn't have surface. I didn't have peaks. I didn't have the Manus. And I was trading away the Mog. And I had already given away traded away at the time I had the Qu-bit Wave, which was my drum. And so I grabbed Quarks. I've had Quarks for a long time. And it was the drum, and I don't think it works as a drum. Like, maybe it can. Maybe someone can get it to be their percussion. But for me, it wasn't working as the percussion. And, yeah. So I don't love that track, but it was my send-off to the Mavis, and I think that I put Quarks in some positions that were a little bit tricky for it. Anyway. Those hissings and this noise right here, and wind noise, all that's coming from Quarks. I don't know, was it the right thing to do? Might be something that I gotta get back in the case in the future.